It has been 2 years since I have posted a YouTube video, and guess what? I think this is as good a time as any to get back into it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Miranda, and I will be talking about books today. Big surprise. A lot's changed since I last saw you 2 years ago. A different background. I have a different apartment. My cats have grown up. I think I have a different job. Or I was just starting a new job. I don't remember if I got into any of that at all. But that is not what we're talking about today. We can have a life updates video later. Today we are talking about the Clear Your Shit challenge that I am doing in November and December. But first things first, let's talk about what I'm drinking today, because I vaguely remember doing that from my old videos. I don't watch them, spoiler alert. So I don't really remember what happened, but I do remember always talking about coffee. So today I am drinking water because I had a coffee about an hour ago and I was like, I don't need another one. So yeah, you should let me know what you're drinking, if anything. And also, water's good. Okay. So, on to books. Straight into it. What is the Clear Your Shit challenge? The Clear Your Shit challenge is a challenge created by Mouse Reads, which I will link her Clear Your Shit prompt video in the description below. And it was meant to be a challenge where you clear out your physical TBR, which I think is a great idea. I have lots of books. You might notice I have 6 copies of The Hobbit. We're going to ignore that. That's for a project. I don't need all 6 copies of The Hobbits, but as you can see, there are lots of books around me, and I have not read most of them, so you would think that would be what I'm doing the challenge for, but that's not true. I have a tendency to do too many challenges at the beginning of the year. All the story graph challenges, a lot of year-long challenges, and then I get to this point of the year and I go, I have way too many books to read before the end of the year. And so then I use those challenge books to fill out the Clear Your Shit. Because, 1, there's no rules. Who cares what I do Clear Your Shit for? And 2, it just says you're supposed to clear a TBR. And so my challenge TBR is one of them. So I'm going to go over all of the books I plan on reading for Clear Your Shit, and let's just get right on into it. The first prompt that we got was read the most recently added book on your TBR. So this is the book I added most recently whenever I made this TBR, and it was The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk. I don't know anything about it except for one of my book club buddies read it and liked it, so I added it to my TBR. So now I get to read it, and I plan on buying the book to read it. I have a list. You can't see this. Those are all of the books and then how I plan on reading it. So I guess the wait from the library was too long and it's not on Kindle Unlimited, so I will be buying it. Next prompt was read a children's/middle grade book or one with a child in it. I decided to go with the one with a child in it part, and I will be reading The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I attempted to read this book earlier in the year for Carrie Can Read's book club on the Discord, and I think I just got overwhelmed with other books and just put it off to the side. I got like 2 chapters in. Gonna try it again. And I will be getting that book from Libby. Next, we have read a book with a potentially intimidating or scary character in it. And I've picked Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zeng by Kylie Lee Baker. This was a Literally Dead book club book, and it's a horror. And so, in my mind, that means there will probably be a potentially intimidating or scary character in it, and I plan on getting that book from the library. I don't have it yet. You can't see them, but I have library books up there. Oh, just kidding. That book's on Kindle Unlimited. I will be reading that book off of Kindle Unlimited. Prompt 4 was read a book where someone goes on a journey, and I picked Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. I added it to my adventure in Aeldea for Olive Garden, which is a Aurelium year-long reading challenge. I will post the intro to Aurelium down below. If you've watched any of my videos before, you would have known that I did Aurelium 2 years ago. I did it this year too, but I have 2 characters now. I have Violet Astrophel and Olive Garden. So I picked it for Adventure in Aeldea. And I will also be getting that book off of Kindle Unlimited. Up next, we have read a book that the title starts with a T. And I did The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan. And that is also a Literally Dead book club book. And I will be getting that one from Libby. Yay! Anyways, next up we had a free space, and I picked The Golden Raven by Nora Sakovic. If you have not read All for the Game, I highly recommend it. It is so good, and it's heartbreaking, and I love Neil, and I love Andrew, and I'm loving John and Jeremy, and so I recommend reading it. And I finished The Sunshine Court a couple weeks ago and said I need to take a break. But this is the last book that is currently out, and so I will be reading it. So I can say I'm done with the series for now, and I own that book. Prompt 7 is a weakness mini-boss, and I don't know what our weakness is, or like what the prompt is yet. The weakness I picked was TBR of Doom, and I keep my TBR above 150. My current, like, TBR on Storygraph is at 612 books. Now, do I really think I'm going to read 612 books? Probably not. But that was, I think, the one that fit the best with everything else. So, that's what I picked. And it's also true. It is above 150. One of these days I'm going to go through it and be like, do I really want to read this? Do I not? Because a lot of the books, or books I added really early on, were from when I first started reading, and I was like, I'll read anything. I will still read anything, but maybe some of those I can move on from. Prompt number 8 was read a book with magical elements in it. I am trying Babel by R.F. Kuang again. I heard it gets really good at the 300-page mark, and I'm a little scared to get to the 300-page mark, but I can do it. Alright, R.F. Kuang, I will do it. And this book was also part of the Carrie Can Read book club, and it is on Kindle Unlimited. Next is read a book with gold on the cover. I picked The Favorites by Lane Fargo, which I own. So let me grab real quick. So yes, I have The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I got it from Book of the Month back in January. It's got gold. Letters in gold. So we will be giving this one a go. Carrie Can Read read it, and I think she said it was interesting. And that's, all I really need, I suppose. And I also added this book to Olive's Adventure in Aeldea, but I don't know if that's because I added it to the Clearursht TBR first and is now on the Adventure in Aeldea. I don't know, but it's on both. I'm trying to double, triple, quadruple up on some of these. Next, prompt 10 is read a book that you've been putting off, and I have The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. So I also tried to read this book earlier this year, and I stopped because I think I was intimidated. It's 651 pages, and at the time, I said, I cannot be reading a 651-page book. But it was another Carrie Can Read book club book. I think I've only read one of the book club books, and it is sad that it's not going to be returning next year, but also, I haven't been participating on time, so I can't really be that upset about it. I just thought it was a really good way to find, new books that I'd never heard of. So, in replacement, my public library has a fantasy book club, and so I will be joining that come the new year, and I'm really nervous but really excited. And that is on Kindle Unlimited. Prompt number 11 is to read a book set in another time, and I picked To Wed a Wicked Highlander by Victoria Roberts because I read the first two. I can't remember when I read the first one. It says September of 2024. And then I read the second one in September of 2024 because it starts with the letter X, and I was trying to do a alphabet challenge, and it's called X marks the Scot. So I read the second one first, and then in September of this year, I read the first one because I said I need to read the rest of the series. And so now I'm reading the final series, To Wed a Wicked Highlander, and it's also part of the Buzzword Challenge that Layla, who also does the Literally Dead Book Club, she hosts a Buzzword Challenge, and that one is like alliteration. So wed and wicked start with the same sounds. So To Wed a Wicked Highlander is my alliteration. And I will be getting this book from Libby. Book 12, read a book that you keep forgetting you have. And I am doing Destroy Me from Tara Mafi. It's probably Tahara Mafi. It's the novella in the Shatter Me series. And I have the book on ebook, and I read the first one. I read Shatter Me earlier this year. Did not care for it at all, but this book is 100 pages, and I said, I can do that. That's easy for me to do. And I've also added it to Violet Astrofel's Adventure in Eldia. I think that would also be a cool video idea. I'm about to go totally off topic, but to introduce my Aurelium characters, because you guys have no idea who they are and why I'm doing two and all that stuff. So I think that would be fun. Maybe I'll do that. Prompt 13 is a side quest, and it is to read a sapphic book, and so I'm doing Ava Reed by It is by Ava Reed. I am doing Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed, and that was another Carrie Can Read book club book, and I will also be getting that from Libby. Dude, I use Libby like crazy. Support local libraries. Book 14 was pick a book at random out of a selection of 5. What I ended up doing was finding one of those challenges I hadn't completed that had 5 books left on it. And they were already in an order. I did a random number generator of 1 to 5. So the challenge I ended up picking was the coffee shop challenge, which is sort of like just a made up one. So what happened with that one is I joined it last year and on Storygraph because of the Storygraph onboarding challenge, and they have like the person who made it had a Storygraph name. I found that name on Instagram and I said, "Oh my god, you did this challenge in 2024. Are you going to do it again in 2025? Turns out 2 different people. However, the person on Instagram said, "That's a great idea. I'll do one." So then that person made prompts. And then so I joined that one because it was sort of my idea, I guess. It wasn't my idea at all, but I don't think they would have done it unless I was like, "I love this challenge." So, sorry to the original person who did it. I tried to find you, tried to contact you. Could not. So, I am reading Here for the Right Reasons by Jodi McAllister. And that one is also on... No, I'm getting that from Libby as well. Book 15 is Read a Book with a Blue Cover. And I've picked The Kraken's Sacrifice by Katie Roberts. That one I am also reading for the coffee shop challenge because I think it's like a guilty pleasure. And that one, you know. And that one I am getting on Kindle Unlimited. Book 16 is Read a Book You Think Has an Ugly Cover. I picked Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. I also tried to read this book earlier this year. I just ran out of time. It's really short, and so I can't believe I ran out of time. But I did, and this is another Literally Dead book club. And I actually have it. I should pull these down. Give me 1 second. So this is what the cover looks like. It's not that, like, it's artfully well done. I just don't like eyeballs. And I think it's kind of creepy looking, so I picked this one. But it is short. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. Book 17 is Read a Book with a Strange Animal or Pet. I picked Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I also tried to read this book earlier this year. I think I attempted to read it for like a month before I gave up. And I think, again, the size is really intimidating. And I just, at the time, I don't know what it was. I just think I just needed to read other things. And so I put it down. It is another Carrie Can Read book club book. Sorry, Carrie. Your Discord, it picks a lot of really hard books. So I will read it this time. I will get it done. I may not finish the series. I may not even continue the series, but I will finish Mistborn. And I own the ebook and the audiobook. Prompt 18 is a free space. I have picked All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And this is another Violet adventure in the Aeldea book. And that one I will be getting from Libby. Prompt 19 is another mini boss, and this one is Strengths. I ended up picking CUS Survivor, Always Finished, Clear Your Shit. I have always finished the big Clear Your Shit challenge, right? So the one that's November and December. I did not finish the mini one this past July. This past June. My summer reading was so out of whack. It just wasn't, it just didn't go well. But the other options are keep a TBR below 100, which clearly is not true, because it's at 612. Or always/regularly unhauls books. I have never in my life unhauled any of my books. And full of commitment, reads what you say you will. I'm working on it, like that one. That's a work in progress. And DNF lover, DNF things you hate. I am actually a DNF hater. The fact that I have DNF'd 3 books this year is crazy, but also I'm just trying them, all of them again. So like, did I really DNF it? I just paused them all. Although I'm gonna start them all over because it's been so long. So yeah. I'm definitely not a DNF lover. So, CUS Survivor. I do my best, and that's just the one that fit the best. And book 20 is to read a book set in another world. I picked A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek, and that was also a Carrie Can Read book club book. And I will be getting that from Libby. So book number 21 is read a book that you think the narrator, Ariadne, or Hawthorne would like. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know what any of them would like, so I just picked a book that I was already using in another challenge. And I picked These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I am also reading it for Violet's Adventure in Aeldea, and I own this book already, because I read it in 2023, so I'm now rereading it. Book 22 was read a book you haven't been able to fit into a prompt yet. And I picked None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. My coworker told me I need to read this. She even bought me the audiobook, so I have to read it. And Because of the wording, all right, this is where I'm getting a little in my head about things. When the prompt says, read a book that you haven't been able to fit into a prompt yet, I know that Mouse, or the narrator, whoever you want to say creates the readathon, was talking about the Clear Your Shit prompts. However, I was like, I can't pick any book that has been used in any prompt so far, which means my list of 50-something books I cannot use. Because they all fit in a prompt. Somewhere. Maybe not in this challenge, but somewhere. That's why I'm using them. So, because of that, I picked a book that was not in any prompt. My coworker bought for me, and I said, okay, I will read it. So, I own this book. Essentially, is what I'm saying. And I will read it. Book number 23 is read a book you got for a different readathon/challenge. So see, this is on the opposite side. I specifically needed to use a book from one of my challenges. So I picked The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and that was on Olive's adventure in Eldia. And I also have that book. I own that book. I have I think LitJoy special edition. Yeah. LitJoy Crate special edition of the book. And my best friend said that it was really good. It's a YA, and it was really good despite that, so I am excited to read it. And I think it's in a series. It is. So, yay for starting more books in a series. So I own that. We are almost done. Book 24 is read a book outside of your comfort zone /genre. And I picked The Storm We Made by Vanessa Chan. And that was from the Read the World challenge that Storygraph puts out. And it is a historical fiction. I historically do not like historical fiction. So it is very outside my comfort genre. And I'm a little nervous, but I am all for expanding my reading. I get really anxious if I read too much romance and romantasy and fantasy, because I'm afraid of locking myself into boxes. And so I am excited to get out of those boxes and explore new things, because just because I historically didn't like historical fiction doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. And I like historical fiction romance. And so trying to read a historical fiction that doesn't have romance is tough for me, but I am going to give it a go. I'm going in positively. No pessimism here, all optimism. And this book is also on Kindle Unlimited. Book number 25 is to read a book published in your birth month. I was born in August. So I picked Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed. It was published in August of, I think, 2024. And this is on Olive's adventure in Eldia, and I own it. It's a good thing that I'm recording this video so I can take all the books that I own down so I don't have to do it later. Book number 26 was a free space. So I ended up picking Caraval by Stephanie Garber because my mom got me the holiday. You can see the rest back there. I just had to grab them. The holiday box for Christmas last year. And I really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I also have somewhere on this brown spinny shelf. I have some special editions of it. And so I figured it's time to finally read it. And it was on the onboarding challenge that Storygraph puts out. And I own it. We are finally at the end. Last but certainly not least, we have a boss battle, and it is weapons. The weapon choice I went with was needle. So for the mini bosses and the boss battles, we obviously don't have the prompts today. Those will come out at some point in November and December. And hopefully I have books left on my challenge list that can fit any of those prompts and that I don't have to add anything new. But we'll see how it goes. So that will be a total of 27 books in 2 months. And that is, I guess, sort of including all of the other books that I didn't get to add to this challenge, that I have to finish. For the past couple of days, I have been posting on TikTok. It's kind of weird for me still, and I have been doing a countdown to the end of the year. I had 70 days to read 50 books, and so I will be doing both of these challenges sort of simultaneously. I am going to prioritize Clear Your Shit because it's an actual challenge. The 70 books in, or not 70 books, 50 books in 70 days is, if I just do every challenge, if I want to complete every challenge I set out for myself this year, that's what it's going to have to take. So we will see how it goes. I am optimistic about Clear Your Shit. I'm a little pessimistic about the other challenge. And if I can't get to all of it, I don't think I'm going to be that broken up about it. Next year, I need to start seriously thinking about what challenges I actually do and don't want to do. What challenges actually inspire me to read and that I actually care about finishing. I will continue to do Aurelium. Aurelium is like my big one, and I love doing Aurelium. I love doing Clear Your Shit. Those two are definitely staying. And I have a book club, and I'm joining the new book club. So those 4 things are like priorities. And so the other 6, however many is left, are no, like, I have to just decide if I think they are worth it or not. If you want to follow my daily reading and see how much I get done every day, go ahead and go to my TikTok. I'll link it below. It's super awkward and it's gonna be, right? When people first start making content, it's gonna be awkward. So please just bear with me while I get used to doing that stuff again. And I'm gonna try to do weekly vlogs, because I think weekly vlogs are a lot of fun. I like talking about what I've read. And so, yeah, we'll see how the weekly vlogs go. And I have some video ideas, like talking about my Aurelium characters, giving a life update, talking about the books I've read in the last 2 years, talking about my cats, and things like that. So, that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that if you are doing the Clear Your Shit challenge, I wish you the best of luck. And if you are, please let me know what books you're most excited to read. And yeah, let me know what you've been drinking while watching this video, or all that fun stuff. If you're playing any video games, let me know what games you're playing. I'm sure I'll talk about video games next time. Yeah. Let's just yap. That sounds like lots of fun. Let's just yap. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time, and I hope you have a great, wonderful morning, noon, or night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Goodbye!